I'm Lucas Hedges, and I play Gavin in Sorry Baby.
I'm Ava Victor, and I directed the film and wrote it, and I act and I play Agnes.
I'm Naomi Aki, and I play Liddy in Sorry Baby.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Ava. This is very strange because I feel like I've known you for a long time. I followed you online a long time ago.
Thank you. Your
yes.
follow means the world.
Thank you. Tell me about this journey for you about making the move to filmmaker. Where is the origin story of you deciding to make a film?
Well, I was, making comedy videos, and during COVID, I watched a million movies and sort of fell in love with films and filmmaking, even though I didn't totally know what it was. It was just like the way that I was coping with that time. And I think this idea, I'd actually tried to talk about this in other places, like on stage, and it never really felt quite right. Like I couldn't say all the things I wanted to say, and I couldn't strike the tone I wanted to strike. And then I sequestered myself in a cabin in Maine for like 2 months because I knew I wanted this to be a film, and I didn't know how it was supposed to function. And then I sat there for 2 months with my cat and wrote what this is in sort of like a barf way. Like it just kind of came out. And then I sort of looked at the pieces I had and made it into the movie I wanted to make. But it just always like felt like the right form for this story and idea. It's just what kept coming up when I looked away and tried to write other things. This was the thing that kept like itching my head. Yeah.
What's the cat's name, please?
Which one, the actor or
The one with you in the writing process.
Oh, Clyde. And he's here in
Clyde's
Utah.
with us right now.
Yeah.
He's in my hotel room. He's not so happy.
He's not very well at the moment.
He doesn't love
No,
the
he's
cold.
sick. He has a sickness, and that happens to a lot of people and to animals. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
But love you. And I give him medication every day, so he had to come to Utah. So it's actually like a business expense to have him here.
Fair.
Well, so I understand Barry Jenkins had a hand in kind of guiding you along. I'm curious
Of course.
how that relationship started. But then I'm also curious, what was the most crucial piece of advice he gave you? Maybe that you didn't know at first, but once you got to the end of this process, that was the thing that kept
Well,
me
there's a
sane.
lot of stuff he said that was amazing. Meeting him, I realized he followed me on Instagram, so I followed him back, and he DM'd me that if I had anything to send to Pastel, which is his production company, I should send it and they'll read it. And then we had a meeting, and he was very, very warm and encouraging in the meeting. And
He was very angry.
he was mad at me. I was like, he was like mad and yelling at me. I was like, I love you.
Thank you.
And he was super warm and like really encouraging. And then I kind of went away and wrote this, and then they were the first people I wanted to send it to because I just felt that he saw me as a filmmaker before I could see myself as one. I think maybe at the beginning, before I made the film or even wrote it, he said, the videos you're making online are directing. You're directing them even if you don't know it. You're making every single decision in them, and that is directing. And that was, I think, like planted the seed in my head, and that was very helpful. And then we edited the film in the same place where they were like working in post on Mufasa, and so he was around and was incredibly positive at a time when I was like pulling my hair, and he just kept coming in and he was like, this is the thing, this is the shit, you feel like shit, it won't always feel that way. And that was very helpful, and he was around it was very helpful to have him in post, and he came to set a couple days, which was nice.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, he's been completely amazing. I feel very lucky.
For you guys, what was your first reaction when you read the script?
Excitement.
Just kidding.
Be honest.
No.
We're like,
I was like, I think really surprised and shocked because like I don't it's just I rarely get like very excited about stuff, and this I was just like I couldn't wait to get to filming. I was just like oh my god, they're just a few hours away from where I am right now. Like they're filming in Massachusetts. I'm in New York. I'll get on a train soon. and then we'll be filming together. You know?
Cool. That's
Yeah.
very like
Cool.
thinking through the logistics.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get
like
on a
the
train.
train's at 2:40.
Yeah,
I'll
get
get
on
my
it.
ticket.
The train.
Then I'll
will
walk
be
to the
there, and then I'll be
station.
there. So anyway, I was just so
Cool.
excited.
You're thinking about the train.
Yeah, the
It
trains were
was.
just it's like a special like Amtrak train. And,
It was.
keep going.
It was exciting because I think what I've been saying, like what I love is scripts that have really strong character dynamics in them, and the relationship between us two felt so like alive and fun to do, and there was space to improvise and get to know someone new, and it just felt like it was, I don't know, it was gonna be, I'm gonna sound lazy, but it was gonna be easy. Do you know what I mean?
You did come in with ease.
It's just like an ease about the script, though. There was just like a, hey, we're just gonna come up here, we're gonna laugh a little, we're gonna chat a little.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
remember you
know.
saying when you got there, like, I've been like wanting to do something that's like real people talking.
Just real people talking.
And I was like, that's good because that's what this is. Like
Yeah.
majorly.
And it's actually like a muscle that is
Totally.
It's hard, like some, you know, everything in its rightful place. But there are some scripts you get where you're like, wow, this is like, I'm gonna have to really think through each thought, and this needs this and that needs that. All has its place. At the time, I was like, I just want to talk to someone. I just want to let all of that go and just be on camera, because that's such a hard thing to do. Actually, is just to like let yourself be on camera, and that's what this allowed.
I love
I
that.
also, can I say one more thing about
Yeah,
this?
go for it.
I think part of what
Could you imagine if he was like, no, next
Absolutely
question.
not. Next
I would get it if you needed me to not. But I think also what's so fun about this is like, at this time in my life, there was like, or maybe this is like too personal to share, but the dynamic of these two characters is like about like kind of like having a crush on someone, and there's something so fun about that. And I think there's like, it's a very unique experience. Like I live in Brooklyn, and there's a lot of like walking around the blocks, and then you see somebody and you talk to them by their stoop for like 10 minutes, and there's like a real levity and like love and excitement to it. And when I read the script, I was like, oh, in a weird way, like, while I don't have a relationship in my life that is like Gavin and Agnes, like it was almost like I got to live it in my in like imagination. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, this is what like I'm experiencing that I don't get to, like, I'm not seeing all the way through with these relationships, but it's fun to like have a crush on somebody, and then to like get this script where it's like, oh, we get to now explore what that crush looks like the next few steps.
Yeah.
So that's like, what a dream that we get to do that, So.
I've interviewed a lot of actors. These are two actors who really enjoyed their time on set. What was your experience? Were you terrified? I know you shadowed Jane on I Saw the TV
I
Glow.
did.
But how did you
Research
feel?
alert.
I didn't know you did that.
I
That's
did.
cool.
They were very helpful
Yeah.
and good.
So how did you feel the first day on set? Did you want to vomit? Were you prepared? Were
Did you wanna
Question,
vomit?
did you?
No, I was really excited and scared. I mean, there's so much planning that goes into, honestly, especially the first week. Like because it was my first time, we worked so hard to set up, especially the first few days of like knowing exactly what we wanted to do, so that if there was things we needed to like be flexible on, we had such structure. Like the shot lists were so complete, and they were for the whole shoot, honestly, just to like ease my mind since I was doing two things. I was scared, like in this sort of like existential way of like, okay, once we turn this on, like once we flip the switch of this is starting, it's just gonna go, like the clock starts. And it's like my dream come true, so I was like desperate to get to it. And I like had Naomi there the first day, and we just met like a few days, like a week before, and she was so warm and so funny and like really patient with me learning, and she really put me at ease because it was just us talking for the first like week.
It was a lot
just
of
doing
that,
like
wasn't it?
we set up the schedule so that
Yeah.
it felt like we were kind of like getting to know each other, and then we did the hard stuff later.
Yeah.
So it was nice. We built the schedule to be very cognizant of my fear and my like anxiety going in. Yeah.
Well, and it's also a non-linear story. When you got into editing, did you regret that decision at all?
Oh no, that was like the thing that mattered the most to me going into it, was starting where we started. I mean, the edit is I really didn't know that when, like, as an actor, I I'd wrapped things and been like, bye, this was the best, love you guys. Like, and I think my stamina going into the edit was different, and I didn't really think about, I thought the hard part would be the performing of it, and it was very difficult for me for a while to watch myself do it. I was like, you look crazy, why did you do this? But then I got over it and could see it sort of as an objective person.
How long did you edit for?
6 months, I think, 5 months,
Wow.
something like that.
Long time.
It was intense, but I had great editors. But no, the thing about the edit is like the scenes that you feel so that are like the DNA of the film on set are some of the things that have to go in the edit, because it's about the sum of the parts, not just the parts. So that was a really interesting time of like kind of continuing to shed things so that things were really pure and the story was like a real train on its like going. Yeah.
Good. Well, I mean, obviously you had a big following online before this, and there's this whole creator economy and things like that. But something that struck me that you said about Barry saying what you were doing is filmmaking. You look at like The Lonely Island, and like Lazy Sunday is a film, and like they were learning how to shoot and edit in camera, and those digital shorts were the same. I feel like that's kind of the same as what you were doing. How do you feel about that jump to filmmaker? Does it feel natural for? I mean, there are so many now who are visible and kind of trying to make that leap. I guess what would you say about that? Do you feel like filmmaking is a natural next step for folks like that?
I mean, I don't know about other people's experience, but I was really happy I got to do it, the leap. And I felt really grateful that my producers could see that I could do something on this big of a scale from what I came from, which is such like a small scale thing. I don't know. I didn't really think like I'm going to be a filmmaker, so what's the movie I'm going to write? It was really like I have to write this film. And then after that it was like, okay, I think I have to direct it. Okay. Okay, so let's learn how to do that. Like it was very much like piece by piece, realizing I was making a film in these different ways, but it kind of all started with like, this is what I want to say, and this is the way I think it will make the most sense to say it.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank
you.
Appreciate it. Congrats on the film. It's excellent.
Thanks.
You've
did a
seen
wonderful
it.
job. Yes.
Buried
You did
the
a
lead a
wonderful
little bit there. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much.